they need deficits because at the particular time we need each other to rub ourselves back. Tinubu is a Yoruba man, and I don't have an issue with our traditional leader or anybody from Southwest to go and beg as a Yoruba man. That one should be on the ground first. But when we still look at it from other angle, why begging? Why begging? If not that this country has been divided in the way it's going to be divided, why begging? If Tinubu perform well, why begging? But performance of Tinubu, how do you want to tailor it? Of course, this Tinubu don't give us chance to talk. Sometimes when you look at it, it's like somebody that mix honey with a bitter leaf. Tinubu want to take some step, but instead of him to stand firmly on his decision, he started playing politics. He started mumbling some things, like case of tax reform bill. Well, that one we have not seen it started working, but you see that he achieved that one. What about state police that you are asking him for? Even if you don't enjoy you economically, give us some templates that you are going to be enjoying after your exit.
Exactly.
But banding,
fundamental.
Yes, fundamental something, resolving of this country, something stand reform that will be a template for us, that will show us the light at the end of the tunnel. Because I know any attempt to balance this country, you will be offending some people. And immediately Tinubu coming, I could remember the word reform, and I could remember the word reform under my foot.
You are coming from Shetima, the vice president.
Does this country deserve reform or not?
Of course.
It deserves reform.
It's a nagging issue of national concern.
It's a nagging issue of the national. Everybody, if Nigeria is not reformed, we are going nowhere. That is the truth of the matter. We should be reformed to the extent that states should be controlling their resources and contribute quotas to the federal. That was how it was before. That is how it was before. Even if we cannot go back to a regional system of government, make law that will allow state to control its resources and contribute quotas to the federal. By that time, each state will sit down and we will know who to hold responsible. And agitation will go automatically. Imo State, control your resources. Bayelsa, control your resources. And you control your resources and bring quotas. Bring a particular percentage to federal. Look at what we are suffering in the Southwest here. Me and somebody we are discussing here yesterday. NTA Ibadan was first television station in Africa. It was taken over by federal government. Federal government took it over. Go to Ibadan now, NTA Ibadan now. Go and check. Somebody say he want to make a research about NTA Ibadan Aki. And when he went there, when he reached there, only small it remained. They brought trailer from Abuja to come and pack it. What's the meaning of that? Almost all our inheritance in Southwest forfeited to federal government. All the dual house in London, in UK, taken over by federal government. Our seaports here, ocean here, is a natural something. It's not Oyinbo that give us. It's not federal government that give us. It's there, seaport here. If not now that Tinubu is there, before you will hear that the custom controller general of that seaport is always be a Fulani man. Aboki, Fulani, Aboki. Controller general of custom has always been Fulani. Why? Since the creation of EFCC, it's like they create it for the North. So all these things that Tinubu is trying to correct is giving them issue. But my problem with Tinubu is that if you want to, Yoruba will say, tó bá fẹ́ jẹ osakala kó jẹ osakala, tó bá fẹ́ jẹ osokolo, osakala osokolo kò jẹ ọmọ èèyàn. If you want to be hot. If you want to be cold. Lukewarmness. Jesus Christ even say you don't want lukewarmness, that is going to spew them out. So there are some steps that I expect from President. As I'm talking now, they are planning for another confab, another national confab.
Okay, they are planning for another national confab. What about the ones that have been convened Wouldn't they review it
During
and know?
2014, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know what is wrong with our southern, leader. The one that Jonathan did that time, they use it to do campaign. Maybe Tinubu want to do another one and use it to campaign.
For campaign.
Maybe that's what was our purpose. So I don't know what is wrong with them. If you want to, you want this country to be reformed, reform it. Don't look at anybody's face. So all this one that our father, they went there to go and beg Northerner for Tinubu to, it's not going to work because Alonaka. No matter how you try to appease or the wicked one, they will not hear. They will not hear. So that one is there. But one thing that now make everything worse is that economic situation of this country don't give us chance to, call Tinubu a good leader.
Exactly. If he has worked on economy, definitely this entire South will back him up.
Number one. Number two, lack of prudence in spending our money. It's also another thing. You say there is no money. Nigeria lack money, but you are spending in affluence. You travel out all the day there and there. You build billions of naira to build house for PP. All this kind of thing is a lack of prudence that I think.
With borrowed funds, if it is now money generated from
you are borrowing funds
of crude, and it would have been different.
And you are spending recklessly. So all this kind of thing don't give us chance to talk about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So campaign or the contest of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2027, I don't think it's a matter of begging. I think it should be a matter of fact. And which fact? Tinubu don't give us chance. A template. What we will use to campaign for him. As simple as that.
Don't you think that before you leave, that Tinubu's opportunity to be the president of Nigeria is a golden opportunity for the Southwest, especially the Yorubas? And if he failed to address the major issues standing on the foundation, continued existence of Nigeria by reforms, electoral reforms, reforms in economy and the rest of them, creating state police, don't you think that will have a vast impact on the South, the entire South, if eventually leaves? Just as Jonathan was banking on if he returns second tenure, he will face on the South, but eventually he never did.
So this thing is like a two line on a parallel line. It's it requires a very serious diplomacy. Now Tinubu will be afraid of second time. He will not want to make some move because with some little move he make when he came here,
they will capitalize on it.
There was resistance from that angle, and immediately President Bola Ahmed Tinubu coming, he observed that his own vice president is no longer with him.
Exactly.
So by that one, it is very, very dangerous game. He needs to balance it. But what we are just asking from him is that he should not slaughter, balancing of this country on the altar of 2027 alone. 2027 will come and go, and Nigeria will continue. So he should balance it. He should not fall into that. What the past leader has fallen into,
exactly.
Like Jonathan.
You don't want to step on stone. You don't want to do this. Yes, after they also booted him out.
It's simple. Jonathan was giving the elementary school. Eventually, they spat on him. So to tell you that there's nothing you can do to appease these people. So Tinubu should just close his eyes and give us what we deserve. Cogent thing. Fundamental thing
that even after he left, they cannot alter
that
it.
You cannot alter it.
That is an act of desperation, because if Tinubu has done well, then the people will vote for him again.
Naturally,
there's no point going through the back door to seek, approval from anybody in the north. And I keep saying it that Nigeria does not belong to the north alone. So what do they mean by going to beg anybody in the north? It's an evidence of failure of Tinubu as a president, failure of APC as a political party, failure of Tinubu's government, and failure of Nigeria's political system. failure of that 1914 amalgamation arrangement. And it is a pointer to the fact that Britain sold Nigeria to the North, having given them all the political powers, and then now sit on it and act God. You understand? So, for Yoruba elders to go begging, for me it is an insult on their person. Why do you beg? If a woman's soup is good enough, the eater will ask for extra. Okay? If the soup Tinubu has cooked is sweet enough, Nigerians will ask for extra. So these moves are a pointer to failure, capital letter failure in all of them. That is my take.
And honestly, what would that mean to the Tinubu camp that have been ranting of most recent, the likes of Wike and the rest of them? It means that they are inconsequential in matters of deciding who becomes the next president. That the North has upper hands, possibly with the alliance with the Eastern region.
First of all, I want to say that North has no alliance with the East. Whenever you see North align itself with the East, it is because it needs votes. North is afraid of Igbos, just as West is afraid of Igbos. So each time there is a coming together, a desire for partnership with Igbo.
For certain interests.
You understand? So for me, it is not ideal. All these cock and bull stories flying around in the political sphere, for me, is just one of those things. Wike is a bad boy. They say birds of the same feathers flock together. Light and darkness cannot come together. It's only darkness coming together with darkness, or light coming together with light. If the government is bad, if the political party is bad, then anyone involved is bad. Anyone that is being attracted to it is bad. So Wike is bad and we know him. Tinubu is our brother, we know him. All these people are our brothers. We know their background, we know where they are coming from. We know in the politics, people we can point at and say, yeah, these people are good. Even if they are not angels, but yes, they are good. They have that technocratic knowledge, that goodwill, good heart to think about the masses, to work for the masses, you know, and not just for themselves. So, for me, all is cock and bull story. Nigeria heads to nowhere until the right thing is done, until the right person is put there. Bob Marley said, let whom the cap fits, wear it. So, we know who the cap fits now in this present political dispensation. So it's not among the politicians up there now, we know there is only one man standing out, and that is Peter Obi. You see, I keep saying it. You don't need a mirror to see what you're wearing around your wrist. We have been following the politics over time. We have seen these politicians, we know their records. When Goodluck Jonathan came there, the first thing he did was to bring about good people around him. And with good people, we could see what they achieved. Second tenure of Obasanjo in PDP, we could see the people he brought around him. And that's what they say, that the success or the failure of a leader is dependent on his team. You understand? So who make up the team of this government? What is their track record? What is their background? Where are they coming from? What record do they have? What have they done in their past positions and offices? How did they manage the resources of the nation, the resources of the people? How did they treat the people? Do they have love for the country, love for the people in their heart, or love for themselves? I don't see any one of them that is good enough, except the standard man, P2B. And let me warn P2B as a person, the alliance with all these people in ADC, you understand? If P2B is not going to become the presidential candidate, he better get away from there. The worst thing he can do for himself, and to his political career now is to play second fiddle to anybody. Like taking the powerless post of vice president. We know that the office of the vice president in Nigeria is redundant. It is powerless. The vice president in Nigeria is like an ambassador without portfolio. He doesn't have power. And P2B that I know is a merchant of ideas. But that guy has it upstairs. He's a good manager. So you cannot go and play second fiddle to any of these corrupt politicians who will just pack him down there and go ahead to do what they want, which will not beneficial for the people.
Exactly.
So that is it. Care must be taken. If he won't come out as a presidential candidate in ADC, he should just leave ADC and look for another political party. I know that they have spoiled Labour Party. When a party has like 3 different chairmen doing 3 different things, different groups and all of that, a house divided cannot, stand. So he should look for another political party that can give him the presidential, ticket. And we know him. We will follow him and we will vote for him, regardless of whether the party is popular or not. If the party is not popular and you put a popular person as a flag bearer, the popular person will make the party popular. We know it here. When Ifeanyi Uba became a senator through YPP was not nothing. Nobody knew it. In 2007, nobody knew PPA. Ojo Zakalu became a presidential candidate. I made PPA popular. I myself made PPA popular in Shomolu local government because I contested for Federal House of Reps on the platform of PPA. Haven't built the party, the structure of the party in Shomolu myself with my money. Transiting the structure of reality organization, one of Ojo Zakalu's political assemblies that I had to build myself into PPA structure and contesting on the platform for Federal House of Reps. Yeah, we made a whole lot of noise then, both in Lagos, both in local governments, both at federal level. I was at the national convention at Shehu Musa Yar'Adua Center in Abuja when we had our national convention. So PPA was nobody knew it, but the popular candidate Ojo Zakalu made it popular. So P2B can look for even an unpopular party as long as it is duly registered in the Nigerian system, and move in there and take his structure to that place. And we who love him, who believe in him, will vote for him. Never must he become a vice presidential candidate to anybody in this ADC. Otherwise, he should just leave that place. If they refuse to give him the presidential, flag bearer.
Some concerned Biafrans are saying that P2B has failed to learn from history, possibly citing how Nnamdi Azikiwe ended up after being used by the North. Eventually, despite the coalition and the rest of them, he was robust and denied the office of the Prime Minister and was given a ceremonial president. Another case is with P2B. Some are saying, abandon your political ambition in Nigeria, join hands with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and build for a future for the Biafrans, because already what is happening does not guarantee the continued existence of Nigeria, but it's more or less putting all his egg in one basket, believing that possibly he might one day, by chance or by any arrangement, become the president of Nigeria, and for one term, one tenure, as he has described, that he's only going to run for one tenure. Is it possible to address the problem, the multifaceted problem of Nigeria under 4 years?
If I have the opportunity to become the president of Nigeria within 4 years, I will do one thing. I will restructure Nigeria. And when I say restructure, a whole lot of new ideologies will be injected into it. Biafra will have its freedom. Oduduwa will have its freedom. Arewa will have its freedom. You understand? And these regions will control their resources and people sent to the center. If that is done, anybody who does that has solved the problem of Nigeria. That was the Aburi Accord. Ojukwu, the father of Biafra, never wanted to leave Nigeria. Behind the scene, Ojukwu did a whole lot of things, a whole lot of work to make sure Nigeria stay together. It was the failure of Gowon sticking with the Aburi Accord, which was regional confederation. Every region go and control your resources and people sent to the center, so that the center can be weak, while the people who own the resources will use their resources to build their place, to develop their places. You understand? So if anybody gets in there and does that, that person has solved the problem of Nigeria. Nobody thought of Biafra. You understand me? Biafra was a child of necessity. When we were being killed all over the place, and Ikemba saw that the only place was go home for the safety of his people. You understand? So it's not as if the Igbo man can only live good in an independent state of Biafra or in a federal republic of Biafra. With a good arrangement, we can live in one nation, in one country, as 3 nations in one country. The way it was before Britain came here now. For goodness sake, who was fighting each other? For goodness sake, tribalism was nowhere. For goodness sake, northern dominance was not there. Why? The north was on its own. The east was on its own. The west was on its own. We had bilateral relationship. You understand? And that's why no matter how you look at it, Igbo is a nation. That is, the east is a nation. The west is a nation. The north is a nation. Definite language, definite form of government, and mineral resources. You understand me? So all this bullshit that is going around now was created by Britain. And the moment we remove this leukemia that is being suffered by this country, which is the 1914 amalgamation, things will be fine. Because with this present political system, Britain killed this country. Britain hates this country so. Britain is so selfish. And that's why I hate Britain so, for being selfish and for causing these internal problems for us. Because if not for 1914 amalgamation, nobody fights nobody here. You understand? So if anybody, P2B or anybody, gets in there and solves this one problem, removes this devil, we'll be fine. There has been Biafra. The Biafra is there. Nobody can stop it. Oduduwa is there. Nobody can stop it. Arewa is there. Nobody can stop it. You understand? We are not thinking so much about all this thing. Make our life worth living. You cannot love me more than I love myself. You can never do it no matter how much you try. Charity begins at home. And the best thing you can do for anybody is to give him freedom. The worst thing you can do to him is to hold him captive. Nigerians are held captive by powers that be. by Britain, using some people in this country to make sure that we don't have freedom to unleash ourselves, to mine God's deposits in us. And so that is the problem.
And the major problem is not about knowing what needed to be done, but the political will to implement them. Just as Tinubu was talking about restructuring, reforms, and tax reforms and other reforms, his vice, Bishetima, said, any restructuring under my foot. So will P2B do that alone, without the backing of the northern senators and the rest of them, you know, the bureaucracy of...
It is, listen to me, it is about willpower. It is about having a lion there. People don't know who P2B is. P2B is miles away different from Jonathan. P2B is a very strong man, a very strong-willed person. And only a very strong-willed person can do this. I thought Obasanjo was strong enough to do it. And I thought that was why God raised him. But he failed God when he got back to Asoro. Because God had to take Obasanjo away from Kirikiri maximum prison to Asoro maximum power. But he forgot his assignment when he got there. What God raised Obasanjo for me, was return Nigeria to regional government. If you talk about the parliament, which the North has crafted to their advantage, fine. But you talk about the veto power of the president. You understand it? There are certain things the president can use his veto power to do. After all, we're practicing presidential kind of government. So if I get there, do you mean I should go and lick the shit of the parliament to do what is right? That's why I like my crazy friend in America, Donald Trump. He said I don't have to go and beg United Nations to do what is right. For United Nations is corrupt. He said it to their face.
Exactly.
And so he does what is right. He goes out and does what is right. And if he knows that somebody is going to stand before him, he uses his veto power as the president to do what is right. So it's about having someone who is strong. You know, I keep saying it. You don't know a real man by the size of his penis, but by the strength of his heart. So when we get a man, a real man, not a man by the size of his penis, but a man by the strength of his heart. If we have such a person in Asoro, I believe that person will do the right thing. You don't need the corrupt parliament sometimes to do anything. Because there are people who are being used by all these wicked people in the parliament, planted in the parliament, who will turn down every good move by good people to secure good life for Nigerians. You understand me? So you don't need the parliament all the time to do what is right. As long as you are the president, you have veto power to do it. Tinubu is talking about reforms, restructures. He's only focusing on tax. Tinubu is very spoiled as far as tax is concerned. Who are paying this tax? Same impoverished Nigerians are paying all this tax, myriads of tax, and they take it by force from your money in the bank. You take companies to pay taxes. MTN was crying the other day that they pay more than 50 different kind of taxes. From who would they get the taxes back? Is it not Nigerians who they render services to? All these taxes place pressure on Nigerians. So it's not about tax reform, it's about political reform. You understand?
And economic reform.
Yes, not tax reform. Thinking of how to generate money. And when the money is generated from the masses, you don't put it back into the life of the masses.
There's no prudence in the spending.
No prudence. You squander the money and you waste the money and you still collect it from the people. And for the first time in the history of this country, people cannot afford food.
The basic necessities.
Yes. Before the salary comes, the money is gone. Because the worker has bought credit, foods and everything credit. And the moment the money comes, he uses to pay those debts. And he's penniless again, waiting for another month. And No, somehow these things are encouraging corruption, because when you put people under this kind of financial pressure, there's no way they will not steal, but they work. Because the human knack for survival will push them into stealing their master's money. Why will you pay somebody salary that doesn't take care of his or her transport to and fro work for 30 days? And you think he will not steal from you? So when we talk about corruption and sanity in the polity and the economy, restructuring is the vein of it. We have to get away from this devilish political system that we practice here. That is the problem.
That